I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid clean and say maybe I expected too much from this movie. So let's talk about it. A Haunting in Venice is the third installment following Hercule Poirot, an investigator who has long since been retired and gets roped back into the action when a former colleague invites him to a seance taking place on Halloween night in Venice. This film stars Kenneth Branagh reprising his role as Hercule Poirot. Fun fact is that he has played this character for 3 films, and he's also directed all 3 of them. The 3 that have been released so far are Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and this newest one, A Haunting in Venice. Starting off with a lot of the things that I really liked about this movie, a few of them being the cinematography, the costume design, the art direction, the sets. You can make a movie look as good as possible, but what it really comes down to is the story and the script and just the bare bones of, is this engaging enough to keep me invested and interested for the duration of the movie? And in this case, this movie was about an hour and 45 minutes, and it unfortunately felt like it was two hours. And that, I have a feeling, has to just do with the script. The story, it wasn't as engaging for me personally. It had a really slow start in Act 1, and things started to pick up in Act 2, but ultimately, I feel like it fell short towards the end. I felt bored, and I don't normally feel that way with certain movies, but I feel like for a movie you're paying to see in theaters, you want to be as engaged as possible. This movie was just boring for me. Some people might not feel that way. Some people might actually like this movie, but at least in comparison to Death on the Nile, that one I still think is the worst of the 3, but this one is in no way better than the first movie that came out. Aside from Kenneth Branagh, who I feel like carries this franchise, starred Tina Fey in this movie as one of his former colleagues, and I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't know she was in this movie. Again, I tried to stay away from the trailers and social media that discussed this movie, and I wasn't aware that she was in this movie, and I was surprised to see her in it. I know that she plays serious characters from time to time, and I'm fine with that, but for me, she's always been kind of slightly the comedic relief, and I feel like she was kind of out of place in this movie. A lot of her character traits, her acting, or her character in this movie, I feel like got slightly pulled from her character in Only Murders in the Building, which she is also currently starring in. And I am watching, that might just be me because I am watching both at the same time. But I just noticed that a lot of the character's choices felt really reminiscent to her character in Only Murders in the Building. And so that's all I was seeing when she was on screen, and it was really hard to separate the two, and her presence in the movie just kind of pulled me away. And then that leads into my last topic for this, is how rewatchable is this movie? Because you have the factor of the murder mystery, of the whodunit, and so once the mystery's revealed and the story's kind of, kaput, can you watch this movie again and still feel entertained? I will argue that the answer for me is no. I still feel like the first movie that came out has more rewatchability than this movie. But I can't see people tuning into this movie more than once, and to me, that's very telling of a story, and that's just how I feel about it. Alright guys, well that will do it for me today. I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe. We are trying to reach 100 subscriptions, and we're slowly getting there, so I appreciate you all for tuning in. And until then, I will see you all on the next one.